Welcome back to the 365 stories from the Children's Bible. This is a series about getting to know God, and I hope that you are enjoying it so far. If this is your first time, my name's Amanda, and I have been reading from the Children's Bible, and we have obviously many videos that I've done before that you can go back and watch. And if it helps, maybe subscribe, and then you'll be notified of new videos that are uploaded. So today we are on day 37, and the title is The Meaning of Dreams, and it can be found in Genesis 40. It was not long before the jailer in charge of the prison found out how helpful Joseph could be. He began to give him all kinds of little jobs to do, looking after other prisoners and arranging the prison routine. Whatever Joseph did was well done. One day, two very important new prisoners arrived. One was the king's wine steward and the other was a chief baker. Both men were high in the king's service, but somehow they had displeased their royal master and had been thrown into prison. They must wait for the king to pass sentence on them. They must wait for the king to pass sentence on them. The jailer gave Joseph the job of looking after them. One morning, when he brought them their breakfast, Joseph noticed that they were looking very miserable. "What is the matter?" he asked kindly. "We both had dreams last night," they told him, "and we don't understand what they mean." Like all Egyptians, they believed that every dream was a meaning. But in prison, there was no one to explain them. "God can explain dreams," Joseph told them. "Tell them to me." He listened at first to the wine steward, and then the baker recounted his dream. The steward had dreamt of a grapevine with 3 branches from which he squeezed grapes for the king's wine cup, giving it to the king to drink. The baker had dreamed that he was carrying 3 baskets of delicious pastries for the king, but the birds flew down and pecked at them. God helped Joseph to understand what the dreams meant. In 3 days' time, he told the steward, "You will be called by the king and given back your job." But he said he had to tell the baker, "In 3 days' time, you will be put to death by the king's order." Everything happened as Joseph had said. 3 days later, it was the king's birthday. He ordered the chief baker to be put to death, but he called the steward back into the royal service. What do you think about that? So it's a lesson for me that God will speak to you if you speak to God. Just like many relationships, if you stop and talk, often the other person will return the favor and talk to you. It's communication. If you make an effort to phone somebody, you would hope that they would see the missed call and they would phone you back. And if they do, then they keep the connection of the relationship going. And that's what God does with us. We speak to him, and then he will communicate back to us. And then we communicate back to God. And it's another thing that came from a Bible study I had recently, was that the communication between God and yourself is really important. And one way to enhance or to learn about what God wants from us is to read the Bible. We will learn about his promises. We will learn about him. We will understand what he wants of us, but what he has done for us already. And maybe we've learned in the last 37 days a little bit about God. That he was the creator at the beginning. He created the world. All of creation, all of nature is God's work. The birds, the bees, the trees, the flowers. Scientists didn't sit in a laboratory and create a great oak tree. God created that from the beginning. God created the process of pregnancy in humans and all animals for that matter. God decided the duration of pregnancy for different animals for different time lengths because he knew how long it would take for an elephant to create another elephant. He knew how long it would take for a rabbit to create another rabbit. He knew how long it would take for a human to create another human. So all of creation, everything that we see that is natural and around us in the world, God created. Unless you know otherwise, I'll be interested to hear your views in the comments. But the lesson for me is about communication. It's about listening, and we can hear his word through reading, and we can also hear his word through dreams, and we can obviously speak to God because he wants to hear our voice. God bless you.